Hello and welcome to another headband tutorial. The fabric I'm using today is actually from a dress that didn't fit me very well, so I turned it into a top. I used the bottom part to create this ruffle, which I'm very happy with. But back to headbands. I've enlisted the help of my little girl to model the headbands today. The one that she's wearing here is a bow knot style, and the one that I'm wearing is a simple knot style, which I've added a bow to using a safety pin. You could sew the bow directly into the headband if you want to, but I didn't because I wanted to move the bow around, just in case my daughter wanted to switch around, which she did. So all you need for the headband is just a rectangle piece, so you could just wrap it around your head and see what fits. For kids, I would say the length is about 17 to 18 inches, and for adults around 20 to 22 inches. So my daughter is 2.5 and I'm doing 17 inches for her, and mine is roughly 21 inches, but I would say my head is slightly smaller than average. And you could also decide the width for yourself. Now I don't like my headbands too thick, and I'm also using scrap fabric, so I don't have much to work with. Anyway, so if your fabric has a right side and a wrong side, fold the fabric in half with the right side together and sew along the length. Now because this is knit fabric, you want to use a zigzag stitch to allow it to stretch. This first one I'm doing here is my daughter's. It's just a basic headband, no twist, no knots. So I'm just sewing along the length, turn it over, and sew the two ends together. Now make sure you have the seam in the middle like so, and sew the two ends together so when you turn it over, the seam will be hidden. Now cut off any excess fabric or raw edges. Now my basic knit headband is finished. I'm just going to add a bow knot to it. Now I'm just eyeballing it here, no measurements needed. Take a rectangle piece and fold it in half, then fold it in half again and cut a bunny ear shape out of it. Now open it up and fold it in half like so, with the right side facing each other. Now sew around the edge, leaving a small gap in the middle so you can turn it inside out. Now you might be able to notice that I forgot to leave the gap, but it's okay because I cut a hole on the other side. Now this part will be tied up so it's not going to be visible. Now just take the headband and tie the bow knot where you want it. Now with the knot headband, I'm doing the same thing, so sewing along the length. Again, make sure that you're using the zigzag stitch. Again, I have the seam line in the middle and folding it in half. Now as you can see here, I've shifted the top one over a little bit, just so the edge of the top one aligns with the center of the bottom one. I'm folding that half of the bottom one up, and I'm folding the half of the top one down. And then just sew everything together. Just demonstrating it here again in case you didn't catch it the first time. Trim off excess fabric or any raw edges. Now when you turn it over, it should look like a twist knot. And there you have it. Very simple, very easy. It takes less than 10 minutes to make. Just quickly showing you how to make a bow here if you haven't made one before. So take a rectangle piece, fold it in half, and sew around the edges, leaving a small gap in the middle. Now turn it inside out through the gap and push out corners. Now prepare a small rectangle piece for the center. Pinch along the middle line of the bow to create pleats, and sew around it a few times to secure. Now attach the center piece and sew it close. Now, as I said at the beginning, you can always sew your bow directly onto your headband, but I'm going to attach it using a safety pin. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.